Hi, good people. This is Deborah. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I just want to come online and talk about something that is near and dear to me. Uh, Let me read the disclaimer. All information provided on this channel is for educational purposes only, and this channel does not promote or encourage misuse of the information. I will use words that are not intended to offend anyone, but rather to describe my point of view and how I see things. I encourage you to always consider your intuition and discernment. Now, this study interprets the Bible esoterically and allegorically as a reflection of the human self. It is not intended as a literal or historical reading of Scripture, because it's not. All symbols are understood as inner spiritual realities, not literal or physical. Now take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf or throw it away. Now this particular video is about the arc within, the ART within, balancing the feminine and masculine forces. Now this is coming from Genesis 7. I'm going to give you the esoteric of it. Now the Bible is an allegory of the inner human journey, not a historical record. Every name, event, place symbolizes a process within awareness, or you call it consciousness. Now, 2 by 2 is the polar energy within. That's what 2 by 2 is. Every human is female, male. Okay, now the female is the receptive, inward, intuitive energy. The male is the active, outward energy. Unclean beasts represent the lower instinct that needs to be purified. Entering the ark is containing dual energy within higher awareness or higher consciousness, which the ark is your body or in the top of your head. Inside the ark is where the alchemical change take place. The lower self get transformed into the higher self, and as it's being transformed, it becomes as one. The lower self does not transform, the higher self does. After the flood, that's the rebirth of purified awareness. Y'all call it consciousness. So every 2 animal means every dual forces within you, light and shadow. Shadow is called darkness, the devil, evil, the lower self, the desires, the working of the flesh, restraints. Matter must enter the ark of awareness, which means it has to go up to be purified. Together to be transformed by the flood of divine light into one. Now let's dive into esoteric meaning of Genesis 7, the chapter that describes Noah entering the ark and the great flood. When read esoterically, not historically, Genesis 7 described the purification of the human body and awareness or consciousness, the inner baptism of self, in which the lower nature is cleansed so that divine awareness or consciousness may emerge. Genesis 1. The Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. Noah is the purified mind, the higher self. The ark is the body, which is the brain is in the body. That's the sacred vessel The Great Mother, a lot of you don't believe in. You cannot compare the Great Mother with your feminine or masculine because she's not. A lot of people said there's no feminine and masculine in source, but it is. There's no masculine, but there is a feminine. Uh, the Great Mother, the divine, caused the purified soul to enter within, to seal itself in the spiritual vessel of awareness or consciousness for transformation. Well, the self. It transformate the self within the body. All that house means all the inner faculties, thoughts, senses, energies are brought into alignment. Brought into alignment. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. 7 days is the 7 centers, which are the 7 chakras, the 7 seals of the body. 40 is the number of testing, purification, and transformation. The rain symbolizes the descent of divine energy, the waters of spirit, which begin to cleanse the earth, which is the physical body or the material consciousness. Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his son's wife. The sons are the active forces, which is the masculine principle, will, reason, action. The wives are the receptive forces, intuition, emotion, feeling. Now, within the ark, the inner temple, the feminine and masculine powers are balanced. It represents inner alchemy, the sacred marriage within. Of clean beasts by sevens, or of beasts that are not clean by twos. The clean beasts are the higher impulses and virtues, which is love, patience, and wisdom. The unclean beasts are the lower instincts, lust, anger, greed, brought in pairs because they belong to duality. Bringing both means no part of the psyche is denied, but all is transformed through the flood of spirit. Now the flood was 40 days upon the earth. The flood represents the kundalini, or the divine fire, rising through the spinal channel, purging impurities. It destroys the corrupt earth, the old personality, and prepares the purified mind for rebirth. The water rising above the mountain means that spiritual awareness transcends the peak of intelligence. And the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat. Y'all know the word. The place of sacred rest. It symbolizes the crown center, the top of the head. That's what Ararat is. The ark resting upon it means ascension is complete. The consciousness, y'all call it, or the awareness, has reached the highest realm of illumination. Now, Noah represents the higher mind. The ark is the human body, the temple. The rain flood is the spirit, or the purifying energy. The animal is the aspects of the psyche, which is the lower way of thinking. The 7 days represent the 7 centers. I've given this to you before. 40 days is the period of inner purification. This is the story about the Christ fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. That's found in Matthew 1-2. And then he was led out in the wilderness to be tempted by the devil, which is himself. The devil is yourself. And when he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. Now, and it's recorded in Mark 1, 12, 13, and Luke 4, 1, 2. Let's look at the 40 days. The 40 days represent the 40 years, which is a place of decision to go left or right. Why is that? Your first 40 years of your life, you get to play. You get to hang out in the wilderness. You get to focus on the material world. That's the wilderness. A lot of people didn't know that. So when you become 40 years old, you are at a place of decision. We all done been through this place. You decided, am I going to continue focusing on the material world, or am I going to go after my spiritual self? So you go left or you go right. Okay, that's all that means. Now, so the symbolizes the purification and transformation, the complete cycle of spiritual testing, where the lower nature, which is the lower nature is the tempter, or the devil, or it was nothing outside. It was inside. This was going on all inside people. Now keep in mind, there was no man named Jesus. Jesus was the illustrator. The Jesus is the lower part of yourself. The Christ is the higher part of yourself. For those of you that are reading the Bible, the number 4 is the material world. That's 4 elements, directions, seasons. So you got the 4 elements, which is fire, air, fire, air, earth, something else. But anyway, y'all know what the elements are. Together, 40 means the spirit mastering the matter. So the spirit, your higher self. So when you get to this place, you should be almost at your complete mastering yourself. Master yourself means that you have mastered the lower part of yourself within your 40-year period. Some get there, some don't get there. Now, you've heard of the word Jubilee. Excuse me. There were no children of Israel, because Israel means Isis, Ra-El. They took the 3 deities and put their name and made it one, calling it Isis. Took the 3 deity and put the letters together and called it Israel. That's what they did there. But as in essence, the word Israel means your higher self. That's simply all it means. If you remember, when Jacob wrestled with himself, he wasn't wrestling with no angel. It was no man named Jacob, but when he was wrestling with himself, it was a symbol that he didn't let his higher self go until he got what he needed. And that's when he became Israel. That's why his name became Israel. You are Israel in your higher self. You're not Israel in your lower self. Those of you that are looking at commandments and laws and stuff, you're still in your higher self. The 50 represents the Jubilee. That's the Jubilee. Those of you that are still doing those festivals and the year of Jubilee. The year of Jubilee is when you become in your fullness of mastering your lower self. That's what Jubilee is. So all of us that turned 50 should have been masters of our lower self. And we were not. Why? Because we were all distracted and focused on the lower self. So that's what that means. It's symbolism. The arrowhead represents the crown, the illumination, water above the earth. That's the spirit over matter. Now, in the original matriarchal truth, the flood was not punishment, but a purification by the waters of the Great Mother, the cosmic cleansing of her children so they may awaken into their divinity. The ark is her protective awareness within us, the sacred vessel through which she carries the soul across the chaos. The chaos is the subconscious. Where's the subconscious? It's in the solar plexus, your lower self. Believe it or not, that solar plexus is your lower self until you go through alchemical change. It has to be changed. Every chakra has to go through a change from a lower self to its higher self. I told you that it's a story of rebirth. Genesis 7, through the waters of the Great Mother, not destruction. The soul passage from density to light. Let's see here. Let's see. Duality within the human nature. Each pair represent polar forces in the psyche. I told you the feminine is the receptive, the magnetic. The male is the projective, outward expressive or expression. They move into the art two by two because every lower aspect must be balanced, not denied or destroyed, but harmonized and transmuted. Inwardly, every impulse, which is anger, fear, desire, thought, has a positive and negative pole. When these dual energies enter the ark, the purified awareness or consciousness, they are sealed and transformed into unity. The unclean animal would be lust, anger, greed, and pride. They come two by two because the Great Mother accepts them. She redeems them. She entered the ark in your body temple to be balanced and purified within divine fire, the flood. 2 by 2 symbolizes the alchemical union of opposites. The consciousness is actual your cerebral. The subconscious is your cerebellum, which is in the back of your head, which is called the reptile brain, the keeper of habit and memory. Solar plexus region just below the sternum, the emotional and energetic seat of the subconscious. You got reasons and emotions. Emotions equals E plus motion. E is energy. Motion is movement, flow, and vibration. So emotion equals energy in motion. Positive emotions are anchored, flowing, and heart centered. They create reality aligned with soul and higher truth. The negative emotions are scattered, looping, and reactive. They drain energy, cloud, perceptive, and reinforce lower self pattern. In the lower world, the 3D and the 4D, do understand the 4D is a part of the lower world as well. That is your astral area. You know, some people say I astral project. You go right into that fourth dimension, which is where that moon is. So the lower world, the 3D, 4D emotions scatter throughout the body as raw, shifting current. They rise and fall like tides, moving between thought, which is the mental and the astral is the same right there in that fourth dimension. And the body part is right here in the third dimension. Left scattered, they are confused, out of balance, and reactive in their living. However, when this energy is gathered and focused, emotions transform. Instead of being dispersed in the 3D or trapped in the 4D astral field, mental, it funnels upward into the heart. And the heart is the cerebral center of the soul. Y'all think it's the heart that pumps that blood? No. Their emotion becomes true feeling, unified, anchored, and in harmony with the higher self. The lower thoughts are the 3D and the 4D, which is astral, mental, reactive, looping, often fed by the emotions, which is the ego. The fourth dimension is the ego. Astro is the ego. Okay, that's why so much of that here in the earth, because astro is the ego. That's the fourth dimension. Fear is here in the third dimension. Illusion is fourth and third dimension. The higher thought, inspired, clear, and aligned with the soul wisdom. Thoughts can therefore arise from two sources. The lower self generates noise, illusion, reactions. The journey is to transform scattered emotions into heart center feelings. The higher self provides knowing and direction. The positive, which is emotions, that's heart aligned. That heart is the cerebral. That is love, which is the energy that connects and uplifts. Pay attention when you're dealing with people, or they say that they're in their higher self, that they are, and when they talk about love, what they're speaking, or they uplifting in love. Compassion, feeling another's experience without judgment, or they doing that and not judging people. Gratitude, recognizing abundance and favor. Joy, light, expansion, energy that inspires action. Peace, which is calm, harmonizes vibration in the heart. Forgiveness, release of resistance and align with truth. Forgiving somebody is for you. It's not for them. They may not ever accept your forgiveness. You forgive them for whatever they did to you, and you move on. You don't have to be around them, hang around them. But if they in some type of problems and have some type of need some type of help, and you're in the position to help them, that's your test. You need to help them. Trust, surrender to divine timing and higher guidance. Inspiration, an energetic spark that motivates soul-aligned creation. Courage, moving forward despite fear, rooted in the higher purpose. Empathy, connecting with others' emotions without absorbing their negativity. Yeah, I just learned to do that because I was connecting with people as an empath and getting all their negativity. So I've learned to discern the difference between mine and theirs whenever I'm around them. Even when you're talking to people on the telephone, or if you're in a chat group and you're on your telephone, that energy is still there. Remember, energy is invisible and it travels. Generosity, flowing energy outward with no expectations of return. In other words, giving and not looking for a return for somebody. If somebody asks you for $10, don't sit up there and say, okay, you got to give it back. Just give it to them. Patience, energy held in equilibrium, allowing natural unfolding. So again, you got the fear, you got the anger, you got the jealousy, you got the guilt, you got the shame, you got the resentment, you got the anxiety, you got hatred, and you got greed, and you got impatience, envy, and pride, which is the ego of the emotions. Okay? So all that went in the ark is in you. So, but it has to be mastered. So energy flow in the human body. Esoterically, the pairs are symbolized as two currents of life force within the human body. You got Ito and Pingala. That's the Eastern mysticism. They call it lunar and solar channel of breath and energy. Uh, they wind up in the spinal cord, balancing feminine and masculine forces. When they unite, the central channel awakens and symbolizes by the arc resting on the Ararat illumination. Okay, in the pure matriarchal mystery, the two by two were never seen as carnal pairs of beasts, but as a twin current of creation. The waters of above and below, life and form, spirit and matter, entering the vessel of manifestation for renewal. The Great Mother herself has no wound and she has no duality. Please get that. She is the all. She's the stillness before motion. Uh, she's the source from which all current arises. She does not use duality, nor do she have a womb. Instead, duality unfolds within the daughter, who receives and shapes the mother's emanation into the world of form. Okay, so Noah Ark represents the cosmic vessel of balance within the daughter, where all creations enter into duality, is transformed toward unity and reflection of the mother's individual oneness. So I've given you the esoteric of Genesis 7, Noah's Ark. Until the next time, take care, good people.